Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Press the wrong button. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 17. Welcome back to Oakfield Farm. Where today, we're going to be using a bit of the roleplay equipment. We're going to be using the Navarro mouse, which, yes, I do cheat money in to do this. Let's cheat the money back out real quick. There we go. The reason that I had to cheat money is because this thing costs 328,000. But the reason that I got it is I want to test something. And what I want to test is over here. Because I want to test, because I have no idea if this is going to work, I want to test if you can load compost with this thing. I need a bit of money and you need it reasonably quickly. So I figure the best thing to do is to... Oh, this is going to fit perfectly, isn't it? I do need to turn off horseplay here and get this swung around to the other side. Is this gonna... Please tell me this thing lifts compost. Okay. Get her down and in. And oh no, does it not pick out of this thing? Oh, it doesn't work for that. Okay. We still have one chance remaining for this to work. Because there is a shed that I have been storing compost in. I have grabbed a bale trailer. I'm gonna bring the bale trailer with us apparently. Or you know, not. Can you please get off the front of the Navarro mouse, please? Bale trailer, maybe. Gonna reset the trailer real quick. Because that's gonna be a pain in the backside otherwise. Is it not appearing under trailers? No, it's a tool apparently. You'd imagine a bale trailer would be under trailers, but no, it's under tools. There we go. Yeah, you can get reset. There we go. So, what we're gonna do is, by the way, I should mention now, I do have a cup of tea set in front of me, so you will occasionally hear a slurpy sound as I slurpee my tea. Because I do like my cup of tea. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin this around into the shed. This is not gonna fit at all. No word of a lie, I just want to see if this even works. Please don't have extendos. Oh god, that extended. And please be nice to me with where you're going. Okay, let's move that forward and up. Can it go much? It can't go any further up, so let's move that forward again. Oh god, I've made a horrible, horrible life decision here. I regret nothing. So let's get that on and lowered. Can I load compost with this? Beep, beep. I don't think I can, you know. Oh, you can't load compost with the Navarro mouse. Is it only then default equipment that'll default like stuff that'll load? Because if I were to grab, we'll say, a tractor, the 11090 will do. I'll just reset it down over to here. Maybe not there. That's not a good place. Maybe here. That works, I guess. And where did I put the dump trailer? Because I do have a trailer ready for compost. I just can't remember where I put it. It is in field 9 because it was doing potatoes. Oh no. Okay, we'll just abandon that idea entirely. I'm going to come back to this in the stream and see if I can't get this working. But I do have a backup plan for today. Because the backup plan is there's a field here that needs to be windrowed. And it has not been finished yet. I also, and this isn't going to involve cheat money or money cheats. I also, that tea has been sweetened. Oh my god, that is insanely sweet. I also want to change balers. I don't like the Krone Big Pack. I'd like to go for the New Holland baler. So I'm going to see if I can afford that. The reason, by the way, that I'm turning off the windrow when I'm passing over existing windrows is it tends to get a bit wonky and just decide I'm picking up windrows anyway. Even when it's up, even the in-game ones do this, so it's not something specific to the Krone rake that I'm using. In fact, would it make more sense to... Because I do have field 2 over there, that has bales in it. I'm beginning to think that it might be a good idea to, yeah... I'm fully expecting people to shout at me for doing this. Just sell off the big pack and the bale shredder and the bale collect. The bale shredder I should have kept in hindsight. We'll keep the Premos. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy the... Do I have another square baler that I could use? Not really. Well, not one that I'd want to use, I should say. So we'll get the New Holland. We'll detach the Krone rake and we'll go get and do a bit of baling as well. Or instead. I am a bit indecisive today, I apologise. But I want to... the reason that I'm a bit indecisive is I want to try and see if I can get a square baler working the way that I want it to work with MR. And I obviously have plans for the realistic series, which, by the way, Monday you'll get a video for that because it'll give me 2 days to record it. I've got plans to use a different square baler in the realistic series that is based off the New Holland, or is based off in-game scripts, so it should work a bit better in the Krone. The Krone, unfortunately, suffers from a problem a lot of BM modding stuff has, which is that they've decided to make it a realistic weight. Which sounds great, you know, it sounds great. Oh, it weighs the realistic amount, yes, but unfortunately, stuff in farm sim tends to be, and you might have noticed this yourself, guys, it tends to be a bit unrealistically light. So, it kind of backfires when you use BM modding stuff. In the news today, by the way, or as I'm recording this, yesterday's news I know, but this is the first farm sim content I've done since, so I might get a few more viewers than I did during Euro Truck. Slim chance. In the news today, the second batch of screenshots, the first batch of screenshots for FS19 have been released after the first teaser picture with the Fent ideal, and they kind of go into a bit more detail of what the game's going to look like playing it. You can obviously see the new shaders in action. You can see a lot more detail in the models. I've noticed a lot more detail with the shadows. Oh my god, the shadows are amazing. Everything is a shadow in FS19, including the crop, which I didn't realize it up until now, but that's something the game needed. I always go on about like tiny details, small details, and that's a small detail that I'm completely in favour of. It's pointless in that you won't notice it, you know, after a couple of days playing FS19, but when you compare it to the identical screenshots Giants took in FS17, holy crap, is there a difference? I cannot wait for the
It's just a reskin of the old game. What's the point in buying the new game if it's just a reskin?
crowd to come out, because yeah, there's I'm kind of willing to say this is probably the biggest graphical jump Farm Sim's taken in ever. It was a big jump between 13 and 15, but that's nothing compared to the quantum leap that they seem to be taking in terms of graphical fidelity and detail. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of that going on right now, you know, with the shaders that I'm using, but what I'm using is very basic and you know, still uses the default FS17 rendering. FS19 just brings it to a new level, so I'm kind of in betweeny right now. I do still need to figure out how to put the Compost Master in without it going wonked like it is. That's something I'll do off camera, probably after I finish recording, because I do have a few different things I want to do off camera, including finishing the windrowing, because I know everybody loves watching me windrow, which is why I went to grab the baler instead. And the bales, by the way, I will most likely just sell them straight off. I don't know what else I could do with them. I could get the bale shredder again and turn them into hay pellets, but I don't know why I'd want to do that. I do want to actually get something cool done in Field 9 with the potatoes, so what I'll do in probably today's stream, and yes, I'm talking about today's stream already. What I'll do probably in today's stream, just as a bit of a... I didn't need to go this way! Just as a bit of a teaser. Today's stream I'll probably get the Grimatectron, the big potato harvester, and go ham on the one field of potatoes that I do have. Because I want to do something cool in Field 9, and I need the potatoes out of there to do it. It's a small enough field that what I want to do can be done in a sane manner. You'll see what that is when we get to it. 'Cause I want to start limiting how I use the Compost Master, because right now I'm just throwing anything and everything into it and literally mowing grass just for the sake of putting compost in. But with the second Compost Master, the one that I've got over by the pigs, I want to do something that I've not done in a long time. Well, I have introduced rules for myself in series quite frequently, especially the realistic series. But I might not say any of the rules of the realistic series, but there are rules that I'm playing by. But something that I want to do is limit how I make compost, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a rule, and that rule is going to be revealed in time, because I need to do the thing in Field 9 first, which will reveal what my rule will be. Yeah, this baler is much better than the big pack. It's just kind of scything through the crop. I mean, yeah, I'm missing a buttload because I'm driving badly, but it's... I guess I can't say much until we get up to the hill over here. Then we'll find out how it really goes. Because where the big pack fails is on a hill, it just kind of grinds to a jarring halt. And granted, I am using the most powerful tractor I have. This would still slow the big pack down to... Well, the big pack would still slow this down a reasonable amount. It's still kind of going downhill. Okay, here we go. Uphill baling. We'd be at 10 or 11 Ks with the big pack. Yeah, it's just a problem with balers, it seems, then. Because even here I'm at 14 Ks. I maybe might have been slower with the big pack. But I think running the 1280 baler. V1280 is probably, or 1290 even. I apologise, New Holland fans. The BB1290. It's probably going to be a better option, kind of moving forwards for things what I can do with it. Because it is a lighter baler, it does have a lower power requirement, so there is more horsepower free to power the tractor, especially if I'm using the case. I can, in theory, use the Voltra on this now and run it at a reasonable pace. I do have a tractor that I'm keeping kind of under wraps for now, that I will be bringing in quite soon. There is still a lot of seeding needing to be done on this map, and I need to get around to doing that very soon as well. Probably should have done seeding today instead of baling, but I did a seeding episode fairly recently, and I'd like to get field 21 grown a bit before I start seeding the other fields, so that there is kind of a gap between the fields and we can start doing full cycles in basically a lot less time than it's taking me right now. One other thing I want to do is I want to work out if I can get a bigger seeder. If I can get a... because it'll have to be a multiple of 6. If I can get a 12-meter seeder, does it have to be a multiple of 6? It has to be divisible into 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. I could get a 9-meter seeder, and that would work as well, because I'm not going to get a bigger sprayer than 36 meters. Also, the windrower is stuck in between the weight and the tractor. If you're wondering why that's just kind of wandering around in front of me, it got stuck. One thing I need to do as well is get a weeder so that I can come down and just kind of clear out this field properly without having to go around a million times at the baler, just picking up every little last shred of hay that I missed. Well, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's going to be about a bale's worth of hay left on the field, but it's not worth the time that it would take to get an extra bale out of the field, compared to just going around it with a weeder and cleaning it up, because I do want to do more silage, or even just kind of have a grass store going so that I can make hay with it if I want to in the future. Something like that. It's something that I need to do. I also have an idea for doing some forestry, and it will feed into some other plans that I have on the map as well. So, would you guys like to see a forestry video sometime, or maybe even a stream with a bit of forestry? And I solemnly swear that I will use decent sized equipment, or at least not necessarily decent sized equipment, but I will do things and try not to get angry. I will use a reasonable bale, or not a bale trailer, but a reasonable forestry trailer, and try and get things done in an efficient manner, because I know that I'm horrifically bad when it comes to doing forestry stuff, that I take an age to do things. I am fully aware of this, but it is something that I'm going to work on improving. I do have plans to get my joystick running, but unfortunately right now I can't. 2 of the USB ports on my new case aren't working at the moment, and I think it's because I forgot to plug them in. So I'll have to get my computer out at some point, which is kind of why I'm leaving. I need to leave a day where, or not even a full day, half a day where I don't have any real plans. Ideally in the morning, so that I can get everything sorted out and get it all back together and stream still and not miss anything. But I do need to try and get the two USB 2 ports working, because if I can, then I can have my joystick working as well, and I can do forestry with the joystick I tend to be a bit more nimble with that. I tend to be a bit less derpy, for whatever reason. Especially with front loaders, I tend to be able to do multiple things at once as opposed to just faffing about and hoping for the best with the mouse. So I think this is the right option for baling. I know that there's probably going to be one or two people who are a bit miffed that I got rid of the straw add-on baler. But at the end of the day, it takes so long to bale with the straw add-on baler that it's not really worth doing it. Because you start baling, you would have been faster with a forage wagon, especially with MR. You know, there comes a point where you're just wasting your own time and everybody's time, so this is probably the best workaround, is just use the base game baler. Because it's got physics and weight and all this that suit the game, and MR works a bit better with it. So I don't need a... You know, I don't need this thing. I don't need the Magnum to pull it. I can pull it probably with the Valtra. Whereas with the straw add-on baler, the Krone big pack, that thing needs this tractor. It needs the Magnum. It needs something with realistically about 500 or 600 horsepower just to even work at a reasonable pace. And that means that I'm having to use a tractor that I could have out in the field doing heavy tillage or something, and I know that I don't have anything on courseplay at the moment, but you know, I could be doing something with this, you know, ploughing a field. But no, it's got to be on the baler because it's the only tractor that can pull the baler at a reasonable pace. That's the problem I have with the straw add-on stuff, is it's not friendly to the game. The round baler, yeah, it works well. But that uses custom bales, and most bale traders now will be able to pick them up, but it again kind of falls into the situation where the custom bales have custom physics and maybe different mods react to them differently, and it sounds like I'm coming down against modding, doesn't it? No, I dislike modders who decide to make custom bales, unless they're small bales, because at least the physics for small bales are vaguely predictable. Square bales are actually vaguely predictable in general, but it's round bales. When you start making custom round bales, it starts creating problems. Because the physics of your round bales might be different to the physics of Giant's round bales. And while it might look nice for your baler, it maybe isn't so great for the game physics. I should probably mention at this point that you might have noticed that I had pictures up of pictures of new screenshots up on my social media yesterday, which I didn't do for FS17 when the screenshots were coming out. I didn't do that for the first screenshot of FS90. So why have I suddenly decided to start doing it? It's because I'm going to have to phrase this very specifically, because this is how it works. I am on a YouTuber mailing list with Giants. I had a word with a Giants employee and spoke to them, and they put me onto a YouTuber mailing list as they're not accepting media partners, so I'm not a media partner. So I will be... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what word to use here. Very, I guess, luckily... that's maybe not the right word, but I'm very, pleased that I will be able to share with you guys myself the new FS19 content that is coming out. And I've been told there may, this is the exact wording, there may also be FS17 stuff. But as to what that might be, it might be stuff related to the upcoming, and the dates have still not been announced for these, the mod contest DLCs. There may be another DLC from Giants. Here's the thing, I've always based what I say about Giants on history, and the history that Giants have established with, you know, FS19 will be released the end of October because that's when Farm Sim usually releases. Well, can I say that now because FS17 is a completely different beast? Probably. I think the release schedule for Giants hasn't changed too much. What has changed is the DLCs, because before, back in FS13 there were, I think, 4 DLCs. They were all quite small. Well, so far in FS17 we've had 4 DLCs, I believe, and they've all been reasonably big. The only real letdown for me, if I'm being honest, is Platinum. I think Ropa actually has some interesting stuff going on. Platinum, unfortunately, Essential Apache and FS17 just doesn't work. I mean, it functions, yes, but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work within the game. The sugarcane doesn't particularly fit with how the rest of the game works. It's an odd one where I actually think the sugarcane is potentially a bit too realistic for Farm Sim. In that it takes a long time, but it does grow back, you know, the next year and whatnot. But more importantly, unfortunately, just nobody is seemingly interested in the South American style of farming, or at least sugarcane farming, because there is some interesting stuff that does go on in South America, but I don't think Giants would want to get involved in that kind of thing. Other games have had no issue getting involved in what gets grown in South America. Well, it would be cool, and it's just occurred to me, and this is a very, literally just thought this up kind of remark. How cool would it be if you could, in FS19 in Essential Apache, grow coffee and have a coffee plantation? Because there's no word on where exactly in South America it's supposed to be. It could be Brazil, which is reasonably well known for producing coffee. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool if as the rumors are, and I have no word on how true or false these rumors are, one of the maps for FS19 is actually going to be an Italian map. If that had, we'll say, grapes or olives, are grown quite a lot in Italy, especially in the south of Italy, I believe. It'd be kind of cool if, and I'm going to detach that because I've bailed all the windrows, if Giants brought in, maybe not orchard farming per se, but plantation farming, where you could have a, granted a plantation is very similar to an orchard, but if they brought in we'll say, olive farming in Italy, and you sold it to the olive oil factory, or, you know, the olive, or a local shop or something, and then coffee growing in Essential Apache, because it's a South American map, and South America is reasonably well known for coffee plantations. It'd be kind of cool if that was in the game. You know, you'd have to water stuff, you'd have to maintain stuff, and this is all coming off the top of my head. There'd be weeds that grow up and you have to go in with like a specialist weeder. You'd have specific equipment that you go in with to harvest, because olives to get them off the trees, they actually shake the trees as a whole and just kind of catch the olives as they fall off, which I find funny. But apparently it's because the fresh olives are more likely to fall off than non-fresh olives. I think coffee, they do something similar, but, you know, there'd be a lot to explore with a completely different style of farming. Like, everything so far in Farm Sim, since it's come out, apart from, well, no, I'd even argue livestock, has required fields. well, what if you didn't require a field? What if you could farm up the side of a mountain? Because you can, you know, a lot of the equipment for orchards is kind of utility equipment that you can just put anywhere, because you can put an orchard pretty much anywhere as long as it'll grow stuff. And you might not necessarily have the nutrients in the soil to grow crops every year. If you don't have the nutrients to grow crops, you'll probably plant an orchard where you can grow apples, because they require different nutrients and different levels. And maybe you don't grow apples, you grow olives. Maybe you don't grow olives, you grow grapes. Maybe you don't grow grapes, you grow coffee beans. There's a lot that you could do in farm sim that would allow people to kind of branch out. I would also like to see, this is me going a bit over the top, because we know there are 2 new crops. I would also like to see cotton, because that's a major crop in North America, and I think to a certain extent in South America. Not so much in Europe, so that might be fun if there's cotton in the game, and every European map is expected to have a cotton sell point. Spoiler alert, if and when I make a map for FS19, because I do kind of have half a plan to make one, and it'll be a lot smaller than Donetsk, because Donetsk has been a living hell to make. If mappers were expected to do that, spoiler alert, my map wouldn't have a cotton sell point, because nuts to that, nuts to having crops that don't actually exist in your country being in the map. Same with sugarcane. That's something that... bleh. But that is going to do for today, guys. We've kind of run out of time, and I haven't run out of things to do, but I don't think you guys want to see me just going up and down the field with the windrow for the next 20 minutes. I will leave it here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Oakfield Farm. If you enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment in the box below, calling me a fool or something. I don't really care. Praise me. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.